Check one, two. There you go.
Perfect. I guess I'm not cool enough to get the little pack and the earpiece, but. Okay, so Carlos already introduced me, but I'm Cade, if you don't already know me. And tonight we are going to be reading a very simple, easy verse, but one that is very deep and has a lot of meaning. So our verse is going to be in Matthew 5. It's going to be verse 5. And it is, "Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth." So to really understand this verse, first we need to really understand what the word meek means. So I want this to be kind of interactive. So what's your guys' first impression when you hear the word meek? Selfless. Okay. Anybody else? Gentle. I like it. At peace. Okay. Small. Okay. And so meekness, the way it's kind of used today, is not the way it was originally written in the Bible. Matthew was originally translated from Greek, and so the Greek word translated to meek was praus. And praus, the best interpretation I've seen of praus is power under control. So in our today's culture, we see meekness as kind of a synonym to weakness, and that's not meekness at all. And so when I'm talking about power, I'll use power and strength kind of interchangeably. Power, I'm not talking about a political power or anything of that sort. I'm talking about someone's personal strength inside of them, someone's personal ability, and that's what I'm talking about when I say power. So what does it take to control this power that someone has? Since it's the definition is power under control. Again, I'm going to try to be interactive. So what do you guys think? Humility. I like it. That's one of the ones I've written down. Anyone else? What attributes would it require to control your power or strength? Self-control. Discipline. Good, Richie. Yep. Yep, those are all, I think every one of those was pretty much spot on. So I had 3 things written down that a powerful person needs to become meek: humility, patience, and gentleness. Gentleness and patience, because someone who is powerful has a much higher capability to cause harm. Someone who is like, say your dad got mad at you and disciplined you, that has a bigger impact on you than if your little brother throws his Nerf gun at you, right? So that's what I'm talking about when I say someone who's powerful has more capability of doing something, has more capability of causing damage. So to be meek, someone who is powerful has to control that. Otherwise, their power is absolutely useless. On the flip side, if someone is completely under control but has no power, they are also rendered useless because God can't use them for anything. If you're not strong enough to maybe witness to even your closest friend because you're scared of what they might think of you, how is God really going to be able to use you in a day-to-day life to serve him? So on both sides of it, you have power without control, and then you have control but no power. And neither of those are really useful to God. And to kind of give you guys a visual of this, growing up, I grew up on a cattle ranch, and we had a lot of horses. These 2 horses in particular were named Blackie and Austin. Now, Blackie was a very big, strong, powerful horse. He was tall. It was very difficult to get on Blackie, but you could do anything you wanted to do with Blackie. Blackie was fast enough to chase down the fastest calf, but also strong enough to hold back a very strong bull. He was a very useful horse because not only was he strong, but he would do anything you asked of him. On the other hand, we had Austin, who was actually bigger and much stronger than Blackie. Our nickname for him was Steroid because he actually had, like, I've never seen a horse after Austin. He actually had toned, defined muscles all the way down his leg. But Austin was also very stubborn and rock-headed, and you could not get Austin to do something he would not want to do. If Austin saw the trailer to go home, and we still had to go rope another calf, Austin was going to the trailer. He was bound and determined to go to that trailer. And so, in turn, Blackie was more useful than Austin because we could get him to submit and use him like a tool, while Austin became less useful, though he was stronger, because he just wanted to run wild. And on the other hand, we had other horses that were less physically capable than both of them, and they were on about the same level as Austin in usefulness because they couldn't do some of the things Blackie could do. You could not rope a bull on the smaller, weaker horse because it would literally pull the horse over. And so that is the two different sides of the issue of meekness, with power and no control, and without power and having control. And so I was going to ask you guys, because it seems to me that people who have no power and are under control, they don't make a big impact on the world, but someone who is powerful and has no control will tend to be noticed. So have you guys seen in today's world somebody who is powerful but has no control in today's culture? No? Hitler. I actually struggled with this one, and then I talked to Pastor Paul, and Pastor Paul told me about, I already knew this one, but it didn't come to mind, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Do you guys know who Arnold, I have a hard time with the last name. So does he. Oh my gosh. Do you guys know kind of the story of Arnold Schwarzenegger? Yeah. Yes, big, strong, powerful actor, became the governor of California for a long time, but had absolutely no self-control, slept with his maid, had a child with his maid. The child ended up looking exactly like him, so it was it was pretty much, the kid was like 12 years old, and his wife looks at the kid, and yeah. So that was my best example in today's culture. But then I wanted to ask you guys, is there an example in the Bible of someone that you would see as meek? Good. Beautiful, Richie. You can you can tell he went to Sunday school. That was my example, was David. So David, if you don't know the story of David, most all of us know the story of David killing Goliath, right? And then after that, he became a great warrior. And then King Saul got jealous of David and wanted to have David killed. And what made David meek was, while Saul was trying to kill David, David had two opportunities to kill Saul and took neither of them because Saul was God's anointed one. David did not want to go after his own will and turn against the will of God. That is what made David meek, because he had that great strength, but he could also control it. And so that is the essence of meekness. Now, the second part of the verse, for they will inherit the earth, that's actually a kind of a controversial topic, but the best explanation I have seen is that it is simply a metaphorical way of God telling us, when you have yourself under control and when you are strong, God will not leave you out to dry. God will reward you for controlling yourself and following his will, and also developing your own abilities. And the main point I wanted to get at tonight was that God gave us all gifts and abilities. We're all unique, and we need to develop those gifts and abilities to serve him and also submit to his will. And in doing both of those things, we can become meek. And that was the main essence of my little devotional tonight. So now I'll turn it over to Carlos.
Good job, kid. Man. That's awesome.